Hello everybody, and welcome to the webinar about the IntelliPID module inside UniversalPlantViewer. Most of you know UniversalPlantViewer from the 3D side, and what we have been working on lately is to include a module which allows you to visualize also PID data inside UniversalPlantViewer. I will start with some slides, and later on I will go to the live demonstration and show the functionality which is available right now in the first version of the IntelliPID module. The features are, of course, the viewing of PID graphics and attributes. And if we talk about PID, we mean drawings that are converted from SmartPlant PID. So IntelliPID right now refers to SmartPlant PID data. In the viewer, same like in 3D, we can colorize objects either manually by selecting them based on object properties. We have search functions for the open document so that we can search for texts that are placed in labels or in item notes. But the much more powerful search is the one that searches for attribute values and finds these values in the dataset and then displays the corresponding components in graphics. We also have the possibility to create links between PID objects and 3D objects. And those links, they are stored in the data package so that when you click on an object, you can navigate to the other side and also to relate documents in case there are documents available in the 3D model. Same as in 3D, you can also create reports from the PID dataset for the open document, for all open documents, or even just for one drawing or selected objects in that drawing. And if you change colors on the files, of course, a nice function is to be able to export them to PDF. This is why the export to PDF is also implemented in this release. On this slide, you can see that in the viewer, it is possible to select an object, and then you can see the properties for this object. The list of properties is defined in the extraction part, which means the IntelliPID module also has a related IntelliPID adapter, which can be used to convert the data in such a way that it is visible in the viewer across the different platforms, including mobile platforms. You can change the color of objects, either by selecting a single object or multiple objects and then just using the color menu like in 3D to change the color. But it's also possible to use Excel files. For instance, here is a nice example. All the fluid codes S will turn green and fluid code W should turn red, and the result will be applied to the active PID or to the list of open PIDs, dependent on what the user would choose to do. So this is, let's say, something a little bit similar to display sets within SmartPlant PID. You can also search for texts within a document. So in this case, searching for this text here will end up in two results, and they will also always be highlighted to you and placed in the center of the view. The real powerful search is the search for data in the data package. So this will look across the complete list of attributes that is available in the data package. And for instance, will show you that this fluid code is available on multiple PIDs. And of course, in each PID, it can be available on multiple pipe runs. And later on in the live demo, I will show you how you can switch from one drawing to another using the result group button down here. So it's very easy to find, for instance, fluid systems or other attributes across the complete data set. And by the way, the search is also working on the 3D side, not only on the PID side. It's always a global search on top of the data set. Another function is the linking to 3D. So for instance, if I click on a pump in the PID, if I click on a valve on the PID, there is a button that jumps to 3D and will highlight the corresponding objects on the 3D side. And there is also the other way around. I can also select an object on 3D and switch back to the object on the PIDs. Exactly like in 3D, we have also implemented a reporting function for the PID data. So in case I select some objects, for instance, equipment on the PID, I can click on a reporting function. This will allow me to select which attributes I want to report on. And in the end, will generate an Excel file, of course, on those platforms where Excel is possible to open up. So this will not be available on all the platforms. So these were my slides. Now I'm going to switch to the live demo. As you see, this is the viewer which is kind of starting in the 3D environment. So my data package contains a 3D dataset together with a PID dataset. The PID data is stored in IntelliPID, and then I can select areas, units, and PIDs. So I see the list of the PIDs that are available down here. And let's just take maybe the first one and have a look. You see the complete graphic displays. I can zoom in and out. I can click on objects. I see the properties of those objects. And I can also select multiple objects. And then the attributes will be, of course, shortened out because it's only the common properties that are visible here. And of course, I can go back to the complete view. If I click on this vessel, for instance, I have the possibility to use the color command to change the color. So if I would like to see this one in green and maybe this heat exchanger in red, I can make a manual color change. But I could also select a complete group and change the color for the complete group manually if I like. And what is also quite nice is that I can revert the colors, which means they will go back to the original state as they were in the snapshot that I have prepared. If I want to change the color based on attributes, I have an example prepared which will change everything that is S to a certain color and everything that has the fluid code W to a certain color. So I can show you how it looks like. It's a very easy Excel file where you can say I want the fluid code S to become this color and the fluid code W to become this color. So all I need to do right now is click on Load Color File, which is a dialog that shows different color files. I can store multiple color files. And if I choose the first one, it is changing the colors corresponding to the attributes and the Excel file, as you can see here. What is also quite nice, if I go to the 3D side and I use exactly the same function, I can also import the same colors to the 3D system. So in this case, all the pipe runs starting with S will turn red. And you see how easy it is to change properties and colors on both sides using one single Excel file. Okay, the next thing I want to show is the graphical search function, which works on, let's say, the file level, which means it will just search for the text that it finds in the file. If I would search here for 240, it will find two results. It will highlight the first one. It will highlight the next one. Exactly with the same method, I could also search, for instance, for 3/4 inch or just 3/4, and it will find the corresponding data down here. And now I want to show you the real highlight from the search point of view. This is the search on the attribute level and not so much on the graphic level. So for instance, even if I would close this drawing and I would search for P, which in my case, I want to find fluid code P. As you see, it looks across the complete values in the PID data package, and it finds that there are two items that have fluid code P located in two different drawings. So I can select the first one. It will just highlight everything that has this value, and then I can use these result groups to switch to the next group. The next group will open the second drawing and will show the data corresponding to the fluid code P in the second drawing. Maybe we can also have a look at the other result that it found, which is the tag prefix P in this list of drawings. So exactly the same search function can also be applied to find, in this case, I assume that it's the pumps. So I can go to the first result, I can switch to the next one, I can switch to the next one. So you see, it is really very easy to look across the database when you search for instance, fluid codes. We can also use wildcards. So for instance, if I would search, for instance, for drain, looking for drain valves, again, it will search across the database. And in this case, it finds one valve located in this PID. Or if I would search for gate, it finds the gate valves on the first drawing, on the next drawing, on the next drawing. And also, you see, it also found the symbol gate valve on one drawing. So it really looks the complete data set and searches for that string. The next thing I want to show is about the linking to the 3D system. So if we have a look, for instance, up here, and we have the two pumps, I can select even both of them and then click on the button that is looking towards 3D. And as you see, this is the result. So it is, in this case, very easy to say that I'm looking for certain objects. I can create a snapshot from the 3D and copy it and send it to someone. And I can do the same thing from PID if I like. And also, the other way around is possible. So if I just go this way, click on an object in the 3D system, for instance, this is this heat exchanger that I have here, E240, I can use a link from the 3D side, and it will automatically go to the object on the PID. I can also use only one object on the PID side and navigate towards 3D. So it is really very easy from the navigation point of view. One comment about this, in my case, the objects, they really have the same name, which means D-240, but the same method will also work if there is no dash on the 3D side or there is a blank instead of the dash. So it is possible to configure the mapping so that it reacts on the content of the string, so they don't have to match 100%, and still the software will find it across the database. Actually, what we are working on right now, I can not really show, but I can talk about it. If I click on a pipe run, you see in the PID, usually the item tag is built by sequence number dash fluid code. On the 3D side, it's the opposite. The pipeline would be S dash sequence number. And right now we are changing the mapping in such a way that you can also specify multiple attributes, which in the end will be combined together in a certain sequence, and they will build the basis for the linking of the pipe runs between the two systems. Okay, another quite nice function is the possibility, for instance, to navigate across OPCs. So let's say we take this OPC, I can select it, and then I have the possibility to jump to the other drawing. So all the connected OPCs, they will allow me to click on this button, and then I can just navigate across the drawings and go from one to the next. And as I already said in the slides, there is also a reporting function available. So if I would like to report all the equipments on this PID, I could select them. Or if I only want to report on certain equipments, I can manually select them. I can click on the Create Report button. And then you see I have the choices selection in current PID, all elements in current PID, or all elements for all the open PIDs. And in addition, we are already working on a reporting interface that will create the report from the complete dataset that is available without having to open the PIDs. So in this case, I have some fields defined, but if I want to have another one, like for instance, the multi-rep information, this is an information that would display if these equipments are multiple representation equipments. And if I click OK, I can select the file where I want to create the report. And then in the end, you see the report down here. So it tells me that this is the class, subclass, drawing, tag, name, and all these equipments are not true multi-reps, so they are false. But if I would have one that has this condition, I would see it down here. So this is a flag that we are calculating during the extraction from PID, and then we can show it in a report. What I also wanted to show you, and for this I'm going to load this color file once more. We also have an export to PDF function. I can choose the name of the file. In future releases, it will automatically take that file name from the PID and convert then to the PDF with that name. And then I can have a look at the result. So you see also here, the colors and the elements and the graphic is transported to PDF, and you can create also multiple PDFs in future from the IntelliPID module inside UPV.